welcome to this live edition of this Epiphany. So, everything is not what you think it is. Everything is not what it seems. Everything is changing, and the story is being revealed. The ancient civilizations that we've all been studying and it's been coming out are teaching us things. And the messages that are coming through are exactly the same messages, except we didn't know why. We didn't know why. The why is becoming clear, and it's cliche and obvious, and it was the why. It's all the same. But it is how we will see the fifth dimension. It is how we will grow into the fifth dimension. And that is knowing your darkness, loving your darkness, and being authentic. Love is the answer, but love through authentic living is the only answer. Love through authentic being is the only answer. You need to live as authentic love within the mind, though. Your mind is still involved, but you need to live in authenticity. So in grade 6, while they were teaching the circumference of a triangle, I was too busy reading Jekyll and Hyde because I was always a sneaky reader. But it always stuck with me. And when memories stick with you, there's a reason. So not only did Jekyll and Hyde stick with me, the fact that I missed the lessons on using the protractor, I might even be saying it wrong, and getting the dimension of a circle, and I missed it. But I think I do understand the gist, and I missed it. But it stuck with me that I missed it. And I was like, maybe I don't fundamentally understand math because I missed that. But I think it was just sticking in my brain. And learning today the authentic loving and living of self, reading Jekyll and Hyde while studying the circumference of a circle and that image of a protractor. Remember the protractor? It's half the circle. It's just half. The protractor is Jekyll and Hyde. Take that protractor, make it 2, and you have a full circle. They flip over to each other, okay? So the protractor is us. One half is the good side. The other half is the evil side. But you have to love the whole circumference of the circle. We are Jekyll and Hyde. Living as your true, authentic self requires knowing the full diameter of the circle. And when you live inside that truth, the circling of the triangle, the mind, the Holy Trinity is the mind, and you circle around that with the full spectrum of the self, and the full spectrum of the self is authenticity. That is automatically authentic living when you are the full spectrum of the self. Does that mean you don't want to work through your darkness and your triggers and all these things? No, we work through those because darkness is fuel to progress, and it will change and it will shift and it will morph. And hopefully one day you bring your darkness to a point where it is something that is a usable skill. And to each their own on where their darkness is going to be a usable skill. It's going to look differently for everybody. And that's just it. It'll be motivations. It'll be things that fuel you. It'll be things that keep you going. Is it okay to be angry? These are the things we're working through right now. And there was things like, not that I'm a Bible preacher, but that righteous anger was a holy thing. There is truth to be found in the Bible's coding. There's truth to be found in mathematical coding. We are all in geometry is the hugest, sacred geometry. We are all in equation. Our astrology, our human design are the hints, the clues, the map for us to specifically find the diameter of our triangle, to know what's authentically available to us to live within. Eventually you get to a place where it's more natural, but helping yourself weed through it and get higher to where your intuition is in a place where it can become more natural, using your astrology and your human design and your numerology and everything available to you, things that are sitting in your memory, however many years later, That is why am I always remembering this? Why do I always think about the fact that I read Jekyll and Hyde instead of learning how to do the diameter of a triangle, or the diameter of a circle, except I know how to do the diameter of a circle. So why is that bothering me? It's not bothering me for the reasons you think. It's not bothering you for the reasons you think of these things that sit in your mind, of something somebody said to you once and you're like, why? The words that popped out of their mouth, because we all know about channeling and intuition. Somebody can spit something out to you and they don't even know why they said it. And if 20 years later that is still within you, there's a reason. Ask yourself why. Why did they say that to me? Now, for me, in this example, there's so many more things that I could look back on. And I've had other moments that explain different things. But today, the relevancy is the darkness. I saw the other half of the protractor and I saw the writhing fields of darkness, like of hell-ish entities, and that whole entire environment that lives within us, that tangled mesh of bleh that is within us. But I've experienced on that spiral upwards that tangled web of darkness actually just does heal, and the darkness upgrades, and you still have a darkness, but it's like an upgraded darkness that actually helps you be more intelligent. It helps you actually be fueled more, because your darkness can now change to different things. Like, once upon a time, my darkness kept me on the couch and never moving, and then my darkness shifted to toxic positivity, and then my darkness shifted to too, like, almost like too much ambition, and like pushing myself too hard and never appreciating the things that I did. But darkness is just always percolating, and it's the alchemy, it's the heated beaker we sit upon that cooks us to become better, to become more, because we are in a changing age life. Like, we are doing more work than generations hundreds of years ago and generations hundreds of years in the future. This right now, not just specifically us, but over the last 100 years, right now is the deepest boiling point we've ever been in. It's only going to get more boily, and something's going to pop off in 2027 where, I mean, I was told, but like, I'm one of those people that, like, it's in my chart that I'm incredibly rational. If you know my story, I'm a former atheist, raised atheist. So that's in my subconscious mind to be an atheist. That is some deep subconscious programs to hold within you, but it allows me to go into the new agey world with complete rationality, and to look and study and only allow it into my being when I see the full scientific truth of it. But when I say scientific truth, I mean like scientists like Robert Grant and I got Matthias DeStefano. He's fantastic. Like, these kinds of scientists are the ones that are bringing about our new found understanding of what all the things of the past actually meant, because science is undergoing a huge metamorphosis that is going to completely tell us that actually no, switching from 3D to 5D is scientifically possible. This is not new agey. It's because our brains, our hypothalamus, is going to start releasing more chemicals into our body, because our hormones already dictate how we live this world. So we already have lived experience of how our hormones alter and control what we see, what we do, how we feel. Okay? So when we go from 3D to 5D, because 4D is etheric. So we're always kind of 4D. We're in the 4D right now. So 3D living in physicality to 5D living in physicality will be mathematical. It will be scientific. It will have an explanation of why it completely makes sense. There will be astrological factors that back it up, energetic factors, like already the solar flash is happening right now, scientifically explain the increase in energy that is coming down to help us upgrade so much faster. It's all working together. We are one big machine that is extremely curated, orchestrated, and done. It's determinism, in a sense, ends up being accurate, but it's not like it was predetermined. It's because there's no such thing as time and space. So the forces that preset this all up for us all, because we are all that one God source that is the all, in varying like monadic structures that go up and up and up. So like, a lot of people talk about being The one being of Thoth, which I don't think I even resonate with, but a lot of people do. Maybe I do. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Anybody that is a magician might be in the spirit of Thoth. Is the only thing that makes me think I might also be in that. I feel very, very galactic. All of my memories and regressions and things like that all come galactic, and then it has magic like dragons and lyrium and all those things, palladium, but galactic. Like it's always of the stars and beyond Earth. What does that mean? Who knows? It's probably where my other selves are right now, but it's all going to accumulate together for our story right now. It's all relevant right now. It's all been for this process right now. Not that all of existence exists for right now, but right now is a huge deal. This is not a sleeping time. This is a high energy vibratory system that we are getting. We already are explaining it. It can throw you into cognitive dissonance hearing what people have to say nowadays. The top shelf, Matthias DeStefano, Robert Grant, the alchemist herself is fantastic, and she helps bridge the gaps when you're first learning. But honestly, like if you're looking to expand to higher and higher and higher realms, that super popular guy that talks about Atlantis being real has actually studied all this stuff, and it correlates all together. It's all leading us to the same story that we are going to pop into being those magical Atlantean beings, the Lemurian beings. Like that's where we're heading. That was our past, and it's our future. It's going to look a little different because it's the cycle. It's the cycle. So it is our past and it's our future. Not that we're the exact same beings, but then we are because we're all the one source. And this is happening. This is happening right now. This is happening today. This is happening tomorrow. This is going to keep increasing and increasing and increasing. Because for anything to be logical, something of this nature is not instant. It's not instant. The popping, ascension, and the instant split. We already see it happening. People are getting let go from jobs. People are leaving jobs. People are moving. Because whether or not you are actively seeking this information, it's going to be happening to you. I seek to actively saturate myself with this information beyond all possible comprehension because I'm not a mathematical person. I'm not a scientific person by nature, yet I still do enjoy it. And I know and I feel it doing something energetic. It's like going into an energetic chamber. And I've heard people talk about the galactic chambers of healing, and you can step in them. I've done meditations in them. They're wonderful. They're magical. But they're very etheric. They're very imaginative, which is fantastic. It's fantastic. But it does something more human, let's say. It makes you feel more like you are humanly evolving. Not just that your soul is evolving because it is, but that the human flesh suit itself is evolving. Meaning we will start to exhibit magical abilities. I've heard people do it. Dan Winters, fantastic. Another teacher to dive into for actual scientific grasping of the higher realms that are actually coming down into existence right now. So you want to saturate yourself and permeate yourself with this. And then remember how this started, that you need to live in authenticity. This is the answer, yes. These people are just helping explain why it's scientifically relevant. How, like, it controls and your energy works through these systems. How the sacred geometry lines up of the heart and the brain coherently working together. This we do know. We know this. There's the Heart Math Institute. They've done many studies. Like this is being scientifically researched. But even then, it wasn't like, okay, we get it. We get that it causes different brainwave states, and we know our brainwave states. We know our Joe Dispenza. We know the all is mind. We know we can manifest. But we are getting into places where the science is being actually laid out for us. It's being actually like, no, A plus B equals square C, blah, 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 we're sending next Thursday. You know what I mean? Like, that was a terrible example, but they are actually getting, and it's coming, and the math is coming together, and they are studying it and learning it, and they're showing that it's going to be within the next 3 years, mathematically, scientifically, astrologically, which one could call mathematical, and ancient civilizations, because they're researching and showing, okay, they do this too. They're predicting it. We know the Mayans predicted stuff. We know 2010 was a huge shift into a different astrological era. Like, it is all lining up. It is all coming to play. And I'm putting this together with that epiphany of the protractor, the dimension of the circle, and of Jekyll and Hyde, which if you missed the beginning of the story, I was reading Jekyll and Hyde as they explain the dimension of the circle, and that never left me. It never left me in grade 6. Why? Why did that never leave me? It's because Jekyll and Hyde, dimension of the circle, protractor, half a circle, half a circle. We are Jekyll and Hyde, learning to balance that together, to love the darkness, to live perfectly, authentically with that darkness. It doesn't mean we're allowed to go be evil, but it does mean that we love the darkness, because we are heading to the light. If you want to spiral up, because you can spiral down, you could love and live from the light and live from the darkness and tolerate the light, but then you're going down. We want to spiral up, so you still want to find the light, live from the light, but love the darkness, see the darkness, even find ways to express the darkness. Singing is a fantastic way to let out darkness. Like, if you've ever heard songs that make you cry, and art that make you just feel pain, or even learning information that makes you hurt. Like, when I learned this information from Matthias Stefano and Robert Grant, and there's many more, Dan Winters, like, there's many more, but it hurts me. That's using that darkness in a light way that pulls you up, and utilizing your darkness in a way that is upgrading you. Because you want to still be going up. I'm assuming you want to go up. If you want to go down, that's up to you, but I wouldn't recommend it. That's going to be painful, and you will stunt down. At the sixth dimension is where they say that's the lowest you can go, in darkness, and then you have no choice but to come back up. Anyway, some of us might have been already coming from darkness. We might be. I think my family lineage, for sure, was in the darker realms. Not criminal, but like they were very, very dark. There was no happiness to be found in the darker. I think it was just all darkness. There was no happiness. So, and I feel like a lot of us were in that ancestral path. Not necessarily us. I was raised in the 90s, so it wasn't too bad. My parents were pretty mean, but considering what they grew up in, it was still all right. And we're just like, now look, our children nowadays, we're not even allowed scolding them. Not that I would want to. It's all about conscious parenting and love and understanding. But just, this is just, look how far we've come. That is huge. In the last 100 years, how far we have come. But now get ready, because this is where we need to, because cognitive dissonance is going to happen. And when you get thrown into cognitive dissonance, it's okay for like a little bit. It's okay to be like, okay, I'm hurt. But we want to deep breathe through it, breathe through that cognitive dissonance, meditate, yoga, because we want to stretch out that fascia tissue, because it actually allows you to incorporate more information. It allows drinking more water, hydrogenating your water, more oxygen in your blood, allows your DNA to upgrade faster. Your blood itself can change. And remember earlier we mentioned the hypothalamus and your thyroid all being involved in actually secreting hormones that are going to allow you to see more. Like we mentioned how hormones, right now we already know, cause you to see things differently. They cause you to live differently. They cause you to experience differently. Well, we're going to get new hormones that allow us to see the kingdom of heaven is already here, because it is. And we can get meditational states where we feel it here. We can do psychedelics that allow us to partially see it. But I think why we're seeing the hand, you know, how you see it all whooshing together, and we're not seeing a clear, different one thing of the upgraded, is because we're looking through. We're in the third, and we're looking through to the fifth or higher dimensions, different realms. When we are actually getting to see them, because they're all here right now, it won't be wishy-washy. It'll be clear. I'm already experiencing, which I mentioned many times, seeing colors, but it's growing every day. I'm seeing more. Once upon a time, it was just black specks. Then it grew into blue specks. Then it grew into red specks as well. This is just additionally. Now it's green. I was seeing, oh God, it was like a swirl of just a bunch of green, and it's weird, and it's not my actual eyeballs. Because anytime I try to focus and see it more clearly, like I see you, let me see you, it goes away. So I kind of have to just let it be there without focusing. So it's a whole different way we're going to need to learn to see. I can see, when I'm looking in the sky, I can see more stars. Then when I focus and look over there, they're gone. Once I've seen ships, but when I focus and look over there, they're gone. But I can see them in my peripheral vision up in the sky at night, and it's just, so it's coming, it's birthing. The fact that we can peripherally see it, but not focus our eyeballs on it, means that it won't be looking with our eyeballs. It's not just a skill that comes from squinting the eyeballs. It's not just focusing the eyeballs. It's energetic. It's something that's going to need to grow with those hormones, with the upgrading of our DNA. It's all happening. It's all coming. So this is just fantastic news. Loving your darkness is the key to this, and something I've been working on, obviously, for years. Because when you first get in, I've been into spirituality for over 10 years now, but there is a large gap between the early Wiccan learning. No offense, I love Wiccan, but it has more depth to be found than when you actually get into soul alchemy. Soul, body, and mind alchemy is the true, because you can learn the, I love learning the sides, but you actually don't have to. Like the Dan Winters, Robert Grant, Matthias DeStefano stuff. You don't actually have to learn that, everything my intuition says. But it is in my enjoyment and in my path to learn it, because it helps me just comprehend my own intuition better. I get my own downloads, I get my own epiphanies, but as you see, mine's a dorky example from grade 6 and the dimensions of a circle. But because of what I've learned from Matthias DeStefano, Robert Grant, Dan Winters, it brings so much more depth. And like one day I hope to be able to teach that stuff myself. I love learning it, and I feel like I'm conceptually understanding it. But as I don't want to blame my girlness, but I am a girl, and that's one of those things that men are more naturally inclined to math. Not that a woman can't be fantastic at math, they can, but it's just not in their natural inclinations, and we are always best to follow our natural inclinations, because that's truly authentically loving the self. You have to authentically love the self. So I can understand, this is just all the way back, I can understand that I love learning the stuff, but I understand that maybe I'm not equipped to one day be able to teach it myself, because I need to teach what I am good at, and that's intuition, that's alchemy, that's spiritual growth, which is just another way of saying alchemy, because it all comes down to that Jungian style of magic, like that we're learning, that Carl Jung was actually just secretly trying to teach us alchemy of the self. So good luck, beautiful people. Love your darkness. Live authentically. Until next time.